Hello, today we're going to discuss proper bow movement and how your right arm should adjust to pulling the bow. It's a very tricky part of playing the violin, viola, cello, bass, but one thing I want to do is just make sure that you understand how your right arm should be reacting. So for starters, when we play an instrument, it's an extension of us, right? One thing I always think about though is what happens if your body's not acting right and then you have an extension that just isn't happening. So I'm going to bring us to the body where it all starts. So hold your right arm up and just kind of look at it for a second, and you want to make about a 90-degree angle. So notice the arm starts back here at your shoulder blade, and then this is really where a lot of people think it starts, but it's back here. Let's call this unit 1. Now it connects to unit 2, which is another hinge-like part of our arm, which is the elbow, which goes to unit 3, which is the wrist and hand. So one thing you want to think about is how do they all work together? What's a way that you can kind of make the best of this machine here while pulling your bow? Try this. Bring your arm up to that 90-degree angle and hold it a little bit lower than your shoulder, and just use your elbow to bring your hand to and from your chest. And you can change the angles. You could do this. And notice there's a little bit of a recoil or aid to this movement, but that's okay because it's all natural because it's connected. Duh, right? So let's talk about putting the bow on the violin. So you have your fingerboard and your bridge. The bow should be always kind of right between it. A lot of beginners tend to push up here a little bit, and one of the things that can cause that is if you're using unit 1 or your shoulder to pull the bow. And it's interesting because that's a very natural reaction to pulling the bow, because think about it. We lift stuff up, we move things out of our way, we throw things. A lot of the movement does in fact start from the shoulder, where the center for the bow should actually be a little bit more in your elbow. Okay? So when you're putting the violin to your body or viola, a lot of beginners will tend to put it in front of them like this. And notice that my arm over here, it's kind of smushed together, right? Or it's smushed against my body. So one thing you want to think about is your shoulders go outward from our body. They don't really turn in, right? This is kind of a weird thing to do. So you want to bring the shoulder to your neck, and you want to make sure that your shoulder is still going out. You don't want to curve it in. And notice it's nice and open when I do this, okay? So one more time. You don't want to do this and bring it in front of you. You want to keep it open. Now you could turn your body a little bit and see the fingerboard and the bridge. So try this. Just bring your arm, your bow, to in between those two areas, and notice that my arm is nice and low, okay? And what you want to do is just pull on your E string and try to keep a nice straight bow. Now take a look at my shoulder to my elbow, so unit 1 to unit 2, and see that the angle may change, but as I get farther, it kind of becomes straight, and then my elbow just pushes down, and notice my wrist shape changes down and leads the way. So as you start to play on the other strings, you'll continue this process, and remember, it's almost like a seesaw when you play on each string because of the shape of the bridge. So you want to try it on every single string very slowly, and I promise it will help get rid of any scratchiness or sliding you have. So hopefully this video helped, and try every string. And I would suggest practicing in front of a mirror. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to contact me, and hopefully this video helped.